Over the next several weeks, we're going to be looking at WWE LFG. Now, the funny thing is, there's so many things that LFG could stand for. Let's fucking go. Losers finish. I don't know. Any ideas what LFG could actually stand for?
What was it? I don't know. It's a good. Like, let's fucking go was the one that I was thinking. You know.
Yeah, and obviously Sean says that during the actual show.
Yeah. So it's definitely an interesting name.
Absolutely, absolutely. So today we're covering episode 1. Every Friday now we'll be covering. I think there's like 7 episodes we've actually got to cover. So hey, there's plenty of things we've got to cover, man.
Definitely. There was definitely.
So you know the rules by now, guys. You've watched the show long enough. Roll the intro. I just want to apologize beforehand. If my throat sounds a bit off, it's because I've just come back from a wrestling show. But I wanted to obviously get this done. It's been a really busy day and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's typical stuff.
Yeah. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. You know what? It's a different, obviously, promotion. It's obviously one close, obviously, to home as well. So it was nice, obviously, to see it. A few obviously familiar faces like Drew Ashley and obviously Leonie Rose, who's actually been on the show. I wanted to
Nice.
stay behind and obviously, you know, be polite and stuff. But I think, do you know when you just know you just want to get home?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's great. Obviously, just go and support people and stuff like that. And they have got another show coming up, which I may go. I'm not too sure yet, but we're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about WWE LFG. Now, this is a similar concept to Tough Enough, but if anything, I feel like this has got a better concept. What do you think?
No, definitely. The formatting's much more like, but was it a sort of Ultimate Fighter sort of?
Sorry, my looking phone's playing up. Sorry, carry on.
What was it? It's more of a sort of like Ultimate Fighter sort of vibe to it, you know. What was it? Where they're going to obviously split in like teams, so we don't know where that. Well, don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but what was it? It's definitely it's got elements of Tough Enough, but it's not like a, it's different enough to sort of make you think that it's going to be something totally different. So I'm really excited for it. I really enjoyed what I've seen so far.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's only episode 1 and stuff like that, but I mean, we have to talk about, you know, the coaches and stuff like that. You've got Booker T, you've got Bubba Ray Dudley, you've got Mickey James, and The Undertaker. I mean, combine Booker T, Mickey James, and Bubba Ray, and they still didn't even come close to how like knowledgeable The Undertaker is. Let's be honest.
Yeah, totally. You know, he's just like old school. I know, but Bob was a bit like that as well.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely, definitely old school. What was it? Really, what was it? Interesting to see him doing these things. You know, especially only a couple of years ago. You didn't see any of them. You know.
No.
But it was in this sort of vein, particularly with Undertaker. So it's all new and what was it? What was it? Interesting to get that sort of view from the Undertaker. That's a perspective you didn't think you were ever going to get.
No,
Um,
absolutely. And like I said, I mean, even like Bubba Ray Dudley, I mean, the guy's obviously a hard ass, but like, he also comes from that same generation as well, so he knows, you know, like the old school.
yeah, definitely. I mean, what was it called? These guys came up the hard way, so what was it? Some people might see them as hard arses and bullies, you know, but I totally disagree. This is the way it should be, you know. What was it? If you want to earn these guys' respect, then that's the way that it should be, you know. So, um, what was it called? It's just down to whether or not the people have got the how do you say the right attitude towards it.
No,
Uh,
exactly. But the thing is, I mean, when wrestling obviously evolves and stuff like that, is the old school mentality really good enough for like today's wrestling world in a way? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
I think Yeah, like you say, is it isn't it isn't. I think definitely there's a mentality of it. What was it? People are a bit soft now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The old timers, the old timers sort of say, they'd rather play video games than have a boozing session. What's it called? There's a debate whether or not that's what was it, a good or bad thing as well, you know, because but was it in both situations you can have falling outs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure. What was it? Video games are of a particular reason for wrestlers falling out, particularly with how competitive they are, you know.
Yeah, 100% and stuff like that. So this obviously gives us an insight as well to the performance center. We know how big that obviously is in WWE, but the surprising thing is like they're not. We were talking about people who's got a range of experience. I think it was like 3 years to like. I think it was like 1 week. I think one person has.
Yep. Sorry, you sort of break up there. Can you just finish what you said there?
Yeah, so I'm talking obviously the performance center type thing is it's like it's really strange like how much like experience they've got. Some of them's got 1 week, but even some like got 12 months. Do you see that range?
Aye, that you know definitely you can sort of see them at different stages as well, and as we got to know the sort of the people that were there, but it was the rising stars I think they were referred to.
Mm-hmm.
But was it you sort of like all at sort of different varying stages, you know? So definitely, it's definitely interesting to see. It makes you wonder the ones that are there been there the longest. Is this their sort of last chance saloon to try and win something over, you know? But yeah, but was it? You know, it's interesting. You know, with the taglines they've got around it, they've obviously they're pushing that sort of rising stars and future greats sort of mentality. But was it, and that was something that they sort of pushed out when when they showed the Undertaker.
Yeah,
You
absolutely, and
know,
stuff like that. So I'm just reading the rules here, and the rules are as followed. The future greats will be broken up into teams of four, each coached by a WWE legend. Each week, a legendary coach will be awarded a point if a member of their team is declared a standout. The future
uh-huh.
greats are then competing for obviously NXT contracts, stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting because I feel like you've got two obviously female, two male, so you kind of got best of both worlds in a way.
Sorry, you've got two. You've got one female, Mickey James.
No, I'm talking about obviously the other teams. I feel like it's two male, two female.
Oh yeah. No, definitely, yeah. It's a sort of interesting dynamic that they're going for there. Particularly by obviously as we sort of will go on and we'll sort of discuss them. I get ahead of myself as how the sort of first picks came about as well. You know, yeah, but it was it's definitely interesting to see. But was it where they're going to go with it?
100%, 100%. So obviously day one starts. Obviously, it's just like drills and stuff, seeing what they can obviously do. So there's
Yeah,
not really much. I think this is more about seeing what they can obviously work with. I mean, what did you
yeah,
think obviously with that?
yeah. So as you says, nothing really. What was it? Massive. But was it? In the sort of opening of it. What's interesting is the episode sort of progressed. A lot of the little sort of nuggets that were appearing in the socials, they were all in this episode, you know. So they weren't sort of spread over the how many episodes it is. So everything you sort of seen in the lead up to it, you got to get to the drama straight away. And what was it? And obviously the first instance of drama that we've seen was when what was it? When the fella put his hand out for Bubba Ray, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
what was it? Well, we know what happens. Bubba turned it down. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what was it? And he said, and basically, what Bubba said was, "What was it? I'll shake your hand when you've earned it," which is
Yeah,
quite
like
interesting.
earn
Yeah.
my respect or something along the lines.
Yeah, but was and there is a sort of etiquette, you know, in wrestling as well. That's an old timer thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? From what I believe that like they'll be courteous to you, but if you're outside that sort of main locker room, you don't approach them until they approach you and decide that you're ready, you know. And that's that's just a respect thing. I remember Roddy speaking about that at the last time we sort of seen him in Glasgow. He basically what was it said about how the young guys coming into the locker room are treated, and what was it? It might seem a bit harsh, but what was it? Certainly back in the day with the old timers, that's their spot. What was it? That was their livelihood. It's not like now where they've got guaranteed money.
No,
So
you're absolutely spot on there.
So what was it? What was it? There's a bit of that in it. Obviously, that's not necessarily longer the case, but what was it? You sort of proceed as you mean to go on, and what you were taught is what these sort of old timers are sort of pushing out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think, obviously, like wrestlers these day and age has got it too easy in a way?
It's a difficult one because if you've seen the workouts that they do, it doesn't look very easy, does it?
No, none at all.
They probably There's probably advantages and disadvantages to the way that it's sort of laid out, but definitely, what was it? They've not got the travel miles. What was it? A lot of wrestlers, what was it had in the past? I'm just trying to think. So that can obviously have a detrimental impact on you if you're picking up injuries and things like that. Whereas in the performance centre, they're all training. They've got facilities all there. If they pick up an injury, they've got medical. What was it? People there straight away. They're getting physio. They're able to. What was it? Get it looked at as part of the sort of the whole deal. Whereas before, what was it? If you get injured, you carried on because in essence that was it. That was your earnings. If you didn't show up for a show, you didn't get paid.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I think every wrestler, obviously, we know, obviously spoke about that, the old school.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't. I think it would be disrespectful to say that they've got it easy, but they probably do have it easier than they did in the past. Definitely the road miles. What was it in? What was it in starting out? You probably didn't have a nice bed to lie in every night either. You slept in the back of the car, or you slept in a motel. They do in the States and things like that. Are they all like sort of doubled up from hearing a lot of the stories and things that are out there? So yeah, from that aspect of it, but I don't think from the sort of training and the what was it and the athleticism of what is needed. I think now they put a high emphasis on being athletic, and what was it? A lot of people don't have that. There's a lot of people that go to the gym, what was to keep fit, but these are athletes. This is next level what they're doing in there in the gym. They're but it's definitely a hard workout, and then they've got to do bumps on top of that. That's after they've had their sort of workout for the day. They've got to go into the ring and do their bumps.
Yeah, it's definitely, really, 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 really surprising. Obviously, the workout and stuff like that. So the next thing, obviously, we see is obviously the promo work, and I've got to be honest, this is the most exciting bit of the episode, which really got me because it's like, again, it's going down to experience, which we said, someone who've been there a week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the thing, what stood out for me, and obviously I'll get your thoughts in a second, is some of the promos didn't feel like authentic enough. And I'm not saying that's always their fault. I think it's like just the experience thing.
Yeah, but was it in the sort of what was it? What was it? I think Bubba covered that. Was it? What was it? The girl, was it the girl Sterling?
Yes.
She she told us she was basically telling a story about I think her father being deported. Is that the right one? Sorry
Yes.
if I've got the wrong one. And Bubba to that, she's cut it into a promo, and then she. But it was really interesting to see what Bubba did. But was they did the promo and it says the promo was good, but there was stuff that could be improved. And then Bubba says, "Tell me about your dad. How did you feel?" And then she broke into tears and things like that. And what was it? And he says, "What was it? I've just enforced emotion in you. You need to do that yourself when you're cutting these sort of things and you're telling these stories to get people invested in you. And what was it called? And it was a really interesting lesson to sort of see.
100%. And stuff like that. I mean, when it comes to the promo side of thing, I mean, I feel like Bully's probably up there, when it comes to promos. I mean, I always
Yeah,
love, obviously, his Bully Ray stuff, obviously, in TNA and stuff like that.
yeah.
I don't know what you think.
No, definitely, and I think what was it? What was it called? You wouldn't want to disrespect him. Put it that way, you know.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. And it's certainly, what was it? Interesting to see that sort of side of things that we don't normally see, in terms of building up the sort of promos, because really they were just told to come in and do their stories. I'm getting sort of mixed up with what was it, some of the other some of the other sort of people that were there. Was it the guy Jasper that cut the one? What was it, the Undertaker was impressed with?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Yeah, what was it? So he does his and he does it all, and then what was it? He cuts a sort of other promo, and what was it? After they sort of push him, and Taker goes, "Yeah, he's something special," you know. He did that twice actually. He did that with the cocky guy that never. What was it? That what was it called? Bubba didn't shake hands with. I think it was the guy. What
I've,
was his
I've,
name?
I've got the
BJ.
report in front. Yeah, give me a second. I've got the report in front of me. Let's
Yeah.
find out what it is. Please continue.
I saw. What was it? Was it Biden? What was it? BJ. It was BJ Razor, whatever his name was. He came out and then he what was it? Cut his promo, and Bubba implied he's got a bit of boo boo face, and then he obviously talked about no shaking his hand and things like that, and then basically, what was it? Bubba schooled him. He went away and made a smart ass comment. Taker pulled him back. They talked. What was it? And obviously they had a bit of a back and forth there. And then when they got that win, they all went, "Yeah, he's something special, but he's going to ruin it for himself, because he's got it, And it's weird. It was interesting just to see that sort of dynamic between the four sort of legends, realizing somebody's got that X factor. That we talk about it over here because of the stupid program,
Mm-hmm.
But they obviously see something there, but they obviously are looking at it. Yeah, that he's going to throw it away because he's a cocky little shit. Um, but what was it? It was interesting to see that sort of dynamic. Bubba wasn't taking any prisoners with him either, was he? He was just like straight on him. What was it? You're acting like as if you've got beef with me.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I always remember like the ending bit of that. Obviously, after Taker, like I said, yeah, he said what he said and stuff like that was, "Can we just make the match now?" I thought, is Bully Ray going to kick his ass?
Definitely.
Yeah, it really. I feel like he's going to be one of those guys where he just winds people up, but that's probably the character basis in a way.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, what was it? I think definitely. I think Taker's probably seen it from like himself. Sean probably sees a lot of himself in him as well. That
Mhm.
cocky, arrogant. What was it? Guy that's probably good at everything he does. You know,
Yeah,
that's the big difference between this and Tough Enough. Although some of them come into Tough Enough with some wrestling experience. What was it called? The ones that have got wrestling experience here, I've got like they're pretty solid. They're already like, but was able to have matches and things like that. And that's probably where you're probably going to lead to next.
yeah, exactly. And obviously, the standouts was obviously got actually a match and stuff like that. But I want to talk about who over on commentary because I was like, oh wait, that's Jeremy Borash, who I've not actually heard for a while.
Yeah, he's great. I miss him from TNA, and I know he's quite high up now in the WWE in terms of thing. I think he's heavily involved in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great to just hear. And what was it? Obviously, it's narrated by what was it? That Joe? What's his name? What was it? Starts with a T. Test or whatever it is. What was it? They're obviously sort of high on him because I've got him sort of narrating the
Big
whole
Joe.
show. Yep. Um, which is interesting to go. Which is interesting to see.
Yeah, and the match was obviously Anthony Luke and Shiloh Hill.
Yep.
And there was some good parts, obviously, and stuff like that. But one of the things which they picked up on, and I thought that was really interesting, was there's a guy there playing a heel, but he wasn't doing like the quote unquote the heelish stuff. So fans kind of got a little bit confused in a way.
Yeah, it was interesting because obviously that the guy was it Anthony. He won, you know, and he won as you say, but he won with the sort of what was it, using the leverage on the ropes.
But that's the
That
only
was
heelish thing he really did.
yeah, and that was the only really English thing he said. But he got like a sort of like compliment from like a few of them. Booker T and Undertaker really liked him, you know. But was and they sort of they sort of favoured Luke. But was I think Mickey James was more like she really liked the other guy. Can't remember his
Shiloh
name.
Hill.
Charlie Howe, yeah, that's it. And Bubba compared Luke to The Rock as well, you know, which was interesting. So, um, yeah, what was it? Interesting first sort of bout, you know.
Yeah, and of course Anthony Luke got obviously the win and stuff like that, which we'll obviously talk about what the implications was. On
Yeah.
the women's side, it was Danny Sakelski, if I said that right, and Tyra May Steele, which was the gold medalist, I remember rightly.
She's the Olympic gold medalist, isn't she? So there's I think there's a lot of expectation around her, you know, and what was it? She's crazy as well. She looks like a whole load of fun. You
But the
know?
thing was, she was actually doing heelish stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, the Olympic medalist is actually doing heel stuff. I'm like, that kind of intrigued me. Do you know where it went?
Yeah, and it was a nice sort of German suplex as well that she won with, you know. What was it? Which was really good. I think, but was it? What was it? Mickey James and Bubba Ray were really for. What was it? What was it? Steel. What was it called? And what was it? Booker T like the other the other one, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what was it? And obviously then what was it Taker? What was it? Pick Steel as well. So what
Yeah,
was it?
Tyra May Steele obviously got the win on that, so.
Yes, and then what was it? That led to the like the mentor selections part of the show.
Yeah, so
Um,
the thing was now them two people got the chance to pick their actual like the mentor and stuff like that.
yeah.
Tyra May, did you obviously know that who was going to pick who anyway, or was it a surprise for you?
No, what was it? I mean, like, it's a difficult one. What was it? I think anybody in their right mind would have picked Taker. You know, if you would take Taker out of the equation, I think Bubba would have been the one that you would want to pick. But yeah, what was it? The fact that she phoned her husband as well was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I knew straight away she'd pick Taker and stuff like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
like we said, we spoke about it earlier on, is that guy's probably got the most experience. He's seen it all, you know, been through it all. You know what I mean? He's probably got the most experience.
No, definitely, and what was it? It makes sense. It makes sense as well for Taker to do it because he can put his wife in there, and what was it? What was it? What was it? Have her run the ropes with Michelle as well. You know, so
Do you know something? You know, I've completely forgot about that.
yeah. What was it? So I'm sure at some point Michelle will be involved, but I think that was a really smart pick because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking as well. If he picks Undertaker, she's got two. She's got a 2-for-1 because she's got Michelle McCool there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and no matter like I know she's from a different era, but she was ahead like a lot of the girls. You know, she probably wouldn't be the like top guy now. But was it? But certainly she was. Her and Lila. What was it? What was it? And a few of the other girls were sort of. But was it head and shoulders above the rest of the sort of diva division at the time? You know.
Yeah,
Um.
absolutely, and stuff like that. And then of course Anthony Luke picked Booker T. I
Yeah.
feel like that was kind of obvious. Do you know what I mean? I kind of see like
Yeah.
Booker T in Anthony Luke.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think he made a comment about it earlier as well. He says, "I see me and him." You know.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the obligatory sort of spinner-rooney had to be done at that point. You know. So. It was an interesting to sort of see like that the first sort of episode and how it sort of like broke down. What was it? I'm guessing we'll get much of the same in the next episode. You know, but it, it, I, I wonder if they're going to play like 4 weeks of this and then go into the main element of the show, or they're going to rush the other sort of what was it, 16 into groups or what?
I've no idea. but obviously at the end of the show, we saw what's coming up. So some of the things which we were expecting is CM Punk obviously showing up. We've seen the thing with Gunther, NXT obviously like performing on there. So there's a lot of interesting elements coming up.
Yeah. No, you're right. We never got to see the thing with Gunther, which was quite interesting. I forgot about that.
Because I remember, I think the only reason I remember that pretty well is because I know he got absolutely a lot of stick for it.
Yeah, he was. I forgot about that. Yeah, I wonder if there's a CM Punk one out there we've not seen as well. Then it just so happened that I thought all the clips I'd seen online, like the one with Taker and Bubba and things like that, and Booker, I'd sort of seen. It was interesting, but was it Mickey was the sort of quietest on the show, so it'd be interesting to see how that dynamic changed because I'm sure she's not. I'm sure she's not the quietest there.
No, do you think she's a bit intimidating? I'm not saying that in a negative way because I mean, you've got three guys with incredible, experience.
Yeah, what was it? One's probably like on that sort of mantle of like one of the greatest of all times. Bubba is as well. Bubba's probably up there as one of the greatest tag team. But was the guys of all time, and Booker T's just Booker T. Just awesome. So apart from when he's commentating, he's god awful when he's commentating.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's a different story. That's a different show overall, right?
Shocky ducky quack quack.
So yeah, obviously next week we'll obviously see what happens in week 2. It airs. Is it Sundays? It airs.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
So what we'll obviously do is we'll obviously watch it. That gives obviously fans as well watch it and stuff like that. And yeah, and then let's just see obviously what week 2 brings and stuff like that. And anyway, nice little discussion next week.
Definitely looking forward to it. That'll be good.
Absolutely. So of course, mate, we're back tomorrow. We're doing. I forgot what we're doing. Is it? What did we do last week? I can't remember anymore.
Oh, it was like a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
It wasn't. It was last week. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the channel because I cannot remember.
Is it not the second of the? What was it we did last week? Now, jeez, that's terrible.
Signings in wrestling. That's it.
Signings in wrestling. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Sorry.
It's not on the live. It's not on the live proportion because I had to edit something out.
Yes, I know that was my fault.
It's fine. It happens and stuff like that. But yeah. So tomorrow we're covering signings in wrestling part 2, and if anything, I think the next 5 are a bit more like old school 90s and stuff. Which that was the theme, obviously, what we've been talking about today.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be good. It'll be good to sort of go over and sort of see. Last week was sort of like into the sort of like the more recent stuff, as you say. That was it. There's obviously quite a few hot. What was it? Free agents that came back. I mean, Eva Marie.
Do you know what? On that, I think we're just going to end the show. If you guys obviously want to support the show and stuff like that, check out the Magic of Wrestling on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, stuff like that. I think, if anything, we've got a lot of content coming up. We've got a really, really busy March. We've got loads of shows planned for that. Do you know what, Annie? I'll let you do the outro. Say anything you want, my man.
You don't want me to do that? I'm terrible at it. Was so just. What was it? Enjoy the rest of your evening. Look forward to the weekend, and what was it? We'll see you when we see you.
See you tomorrow, guys.
See you.